Yeah.
Woo, woo,
Fights!
woo. Fight.
Fights for the final time in 2024. Not entirely accurate, but for the final time for us covering mixed martial arts in the year 2024. There are fights. They are in 30 minutes from now on ESPN Plus. UFC Tampa is going down. And hey, everybody, I'm Jed Meshew, and y'all know what this is. It's the People's Pre-Fight Show. 30 minutes while we, get excited, get pumped up, just get ourselves a beer and settle in for a lovely evening of fisticuffs. We're here with you. We're going to answer all your questions, and then we're going to watch some fist fights. And you come back, we do a post-show, we do the presser, we do all that sort of, song and dance. But enough of that. Joining me, I'm not usually in this chair. Mike is usually in this chair, but Mike is on location in beautiful Tampa, Florida, and doing all of the wonderful thing, boots on the ground that way. So I'm filling in for him, but the man who is always here with Mr. Heck, the guy who knows the ropes, he'll help walk me through this if I get a little lost and confused. Mr. 3024 himself, no sleeves, no mercy, Casey Leydon.
Woo! Dude, I'm hyped. Final UFC card of the year. It's a good one. I'm here with my good friend Jed, and I've had a great week. I just had a great weekend. Digging life. Look at this. I got an avocado coffee right here with boba in it.
That sounds horrifically bad to me, but if you like it, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but
you are. You have not tried.
No, I'm saying for me, that would be actual poison.
All right.
I'm glad you like it, but none of that appeals.
What is it? Are you not a boba fan? Are you not?
I'm not a boba fan. I'm not a coffee fan. I like avocado in general, but I don't. That feels real weird to do avocado and coffee. But people put mayonnaise in coffee. People do all sorts of stuff. If they like it, and you're not going to make me drink it, I'm okay with it.
All right. Fair enough. But before we get going, I just want to give a giant shout out to my training partner and my wrestling coach, Johnny Robles, who got a 26-second one-punch knockout last night at Cage Warriors in San Diego. It was on UFC Fight Pass. So congratulations, Johnny. And I forgot to mention it yesterday for the preview show to watch this fight, but yes, I was just great week of training. And like I said, avocado coffee with boba. This is great.
26 seconds is mighty fast. What's old Johnny's record at right now?
He is 8-3 right now. He is 8-3 as a professional.
8-3 with a 26-second knockout. Could old Johnny be making a Contender Series debut sometime in 2025? I know it'll be a little bit until they do that, but 26-second knockouts. That's how you tend to catch the eye of the biggest organization in the world.
Through one strike in the fight, and that's all he needed.
I mean, that's a good day of work right there. One and done. Get out, take your paycheck, go home, just celebrate with the friends. Terrific. See, it has been a great week, and we're going to end it on a great note. We got 13 fights. To the best of my knowledge, all of those fights are still happening at this point in time. We got some breaking fight news over I don't know if this morning or that was overnight. Yeah. We had some new fights announced for next year. All sorts of tomfoolery going around, and it's all up for grabs. Whatever y'all want to talk about for the next 30 minutes while we wait for the first walks to occur at Amalie Arena, it's up for you. So get your questions in. Super chats will get priority, but it's the holiday season. If you can't be super chatting right now because you got to buy your kids gifts, we get it. We still love you, and we'll still answer your questions as long as they don't suck. So get your non-sucky questions in, and let's get rolling.
All right, let's do it. All right, what we got? We got some super chats first. Pop these out.
Last stand, excluding the main event. Who needs a win the most? I mean, the main event would probably alter this, but Casey, I'm going to go who needs a win the most. not who wants a win, because I think Manel Kopp would benefits the most with the win, but I don't think he'll be really that off, like that hard done by if he doesn't get the win. I will go Adrian Yanez. Probably really needs a win right now.
Let me see. What's he coming off of? He's coming off a He's coming off a win.
He is coming off a win, but he had the 2 losses before, and his career's kind of in the balance of he needs to get going.
I guess, yeah, for Giannis, if he loses tonight, well, he'll kind of 35 is a very hard division to get into that elite. And he was like right there. We're like, oh, he's like one of those that
he had a ranking.
Yeah.
He was in the top 15 of the UFC rankings and fell out. And he rebounds with that win. But if he takes a loss here, I think his whole career he just becomes a fun guy as opposed to a guy who we can see a future for.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Top contender versus just a fun fighter. You'll always see him on a fight. You always want to see him on a fight card. But yeah, definitely. Does anyone else? Like, does Michael Johnson need a win? Is this make or break? I mean,
Michael Johnson kind of just always needs to win because he's 39 or something. Yeah. And so he's actually, he's won a couple, but it would always help him to get a win. He's not going to lose his job with a win or with a loss here. You could argue, Piera Rodriguez may well get cut with a loss, so you could say she really needs a win. She is coming off the weird headbutt DQ.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that the UFC.
I'm kind of surprised she has another fight, to be honest.
That's the thing. Yeah. So if she loses, she's probably getting walking paper. So maybe that. Cub Swanson, again, he doesn't need a win because it's not going to elevate him. But at the same time, every loss that he takes at this stage of his career, it probably ushers him a lot closer to retirement. So it is tough. The fighter who needs a win by far the most on this entire card is Colby Covington. But he's excluded per the last stand. So you can make a case for a lot of others.
I would actually, with Giannis, I would actually include, I think in the same kind of boat, Miranda Maverick. She's also on a 4-fight win streak. She's a heavy favorite tonight. And I think if she loses tonight, and I'm big on Miranda Maverick, I think she will fight for a title one day. But if she loses tonight, then I might have to reconsider and go, you know what? Miranda Maverick's good, but not elite. So I would say Maverick and Giannis.
Good choice. I think that's a very good choice as well.
Thank you, Last Stand.
Thank you, Last Stand.
From Thomas Schultz.
Thomas Schultz, if you're getting jumped in an alleyway by Francis, which light heavyweight would you choose to protect you? Johnny Walker excluded. Love you. This is a terrific question. If I'm getting jumped in an alleyway by Francis, so really any of these answers is fine because I'm going to run. It's as soon as this starts happening, I'm just going to send somebody out as a blocker to be in the way. And as you give me a 10-foot head start, I think I can stay far enough away from Francis, particularly if there's another fighter around, just nipping at his heels. So any of them would be fine, but I would of course pick Yuri because Yuri might stall him out by talking philosophy with him before he even fought him. He would just be like, hey, why are you doing this? This is against the Bushido code to be attacking innocent people in alleyways. This is not what we do as warriors and men. So give me Yuri Prochazka.
I'm when I'm envisioning this situation, getting jumped in an alleyway, I'm thinking of that scene in They Live when Piper's trying to put the sunglasses on his friend. I'm like, Francis Ngannou is trying to make you to wear the sunglasses and see the truth. But who would I pick?
Casey, blow it up to big screen. I need to step away for 1 second.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then answer who you would pick.
Who would I pick? No one else on the screen now. I'm a bit nervous. I always have someone else up here. I would pick Carlos Ulberg because I would expect Francis to get just lost in Carlos's wonderful eyes. So that's my
terrific. Plus, with Carlos Ulberg around, there might just be a swarm of ladies, so it's even more of a line of protection.
Yeah, I use all the ladies chasing Carlos Ulberg to save me. That's smart. I'm thinking that's high fight IQ.
That's how you do it. Good answer.
Thank you, Thomas. All right, one more super chat before we get to the regular questions.
Matt Metzger, thoughts on Chael and Colby's corner? This was really interesting. Didn't see this really happening at all until ceremonials. Chael accompanies him. Colby just defers to him. Just old school pro wrestling manager. Hey, talk to my coach and trainer Chael. And then Chael cut the most generic promo of all time. If you're the greatest fighter in the world, they don't call you a great fighter. They call you Colby Covington. I think broadly it's a pretty decent idea to just like his shtick is a little bit tired. It's a little bit of just hitting the same notes over and over again. Associate yourself with a beloved figure. Let him kind of do it. It's not a terrible gimmick. Uh, so fine. I don't know. I don't really have much beyond like, I was happy to not hear Colby talk. So I supported it.
Yeah, I'll go with that last comment. But yeah, it cool. That's
Like
about it.
Chael is just better. Like Colby is just really bad at being Chael for a lot of reasons. And so just saying, all right, screw it, let Chael do the talking instead, I think is not a bad way to go. And remember, we're getting the greatest walkout in UFC history tonight. So you got to tune in for whatever that is going to be.
Yeah. But thank you, Mr. Matt Metzger. Another super chat coming in.
Fahim, Islam versus Shavkat or Islam versus Topuria, big fight in 2025. I am frankly not that interested in either. Islam versus Shavkat. I mean, first Shavkat has to win the belt. Bilal is the champion, so don't write that off. I would suggest that is a much more interesting and compelling matchup to me than the Islam versus Topuria. One, uh, Topuria just has a lot of work to do. Like I know that he believes he's done at featherweight. He is not. He has at least 3 fighters he needs to fight. I say 3 because they are going to make the Volk rematch, but he also needs to fight Diego Lopez and Movsar. And by then, shit, maybe Arnold Allen has put 4 wins together and he's next up. Like he has work to do in his weight class, and I just have very little interest in seeing him bump up to pursue a second belt strictly for his own vanity. Do your goddamn job. Islam gets a little more leeway in this. He has at least defended the title, though I would still say I don't want to see Islam bump up. Like he has other dudes to fight. Once he beats Sarukian, there are plenty of other lightweights that I would like to see him match up against. I think also the UFC is just more inclined to let Islam bump up, particularly if Shavkat does win, because at this point there's not I mean, Joaquin Buckley could sort of insert himself as a obvious next man in line, but even with a great performance tonight, I don't think that happens. I think the UFC would be fine to just tell Buckley, hey, go fight Ian Machado Gary for number 1 contender. And there's a little bit of connection with Bilal in the Habib camp as well. So there could be sort of a revenge angle. Islam gets to do the thing Habib never did, go up. I suspect very strongly that if Islam did say he's moving up, that he would also say that is his final fight of his career, that he is going to go up, try and win the belt, and then retire. So if I have to pick between the two of those, give me Islam Shavkat. I would prefer neither.
I would prefer neither also. And also, I don't care as long as they vacate the belt. Which didn't Topuria now say he's not going to vacate if he goes up? Did I read that right?
So that is how I interpreted it. I'm cautious to say that definitively because English is like his third
Yeah,
language.
I wasn't quite sure the way it was worded. I was
So
like,
it is possible that was just worded a little awkwardly through the translation of it, but he did basically say, I'm not vacating the title. Uh, I'll move up when I want to. I'm going to do good stuff. And if the idea is he's going to move up and not vacate his belt, then everything we said on BTL doesn't stand and it's garbage and I hate him. And so I hope that was just a miscommunication or I interpreted it incorrectly and that he is saying I'm not going to vacate because I'd like to defend my title, but in the near future I'm going up. So, but yeah, man, like it would be blatantly ridiculous for him to get a lightweight title shot at this point in time.
do you this is we're just kind of talking here, but
It's just us.
what just us. How do you feel? What do you feel, Dana and the matchmakers? How do you think they feel about Topuria right now?
I think that they would rather he not be this way. Um, because like he has got a lot of entitlement already in the way he carries himself. And some of that is deserved. Like is he's going to be the fighter of the year, I believe. He's certainly number one on my ballot.
Oh,
He's had
yeah,
an incredible year. He's an incredible fighter. But when he says stuff like, I'm not going to defend against Max Holloway when I beat Alexander Volkanovski, he's not good. Why would I defend against a dude who Volk beat? Like, he is carrying himself with just a shitload of entitlement right now, and I don't think he has the star power to make that valid, right? Like, he is popular, and I think he can be the biggest star in the sport since McGregor if he sort of continues on the right trajectory, but he ain't there yet. And so my belief in this entire thing is that this is him negotiating in public because the UFC
yeah, I
says,
do believe that.
"Hey,
Yeah,
we want you to fight Volk," and he's like, "Pay me more money," and they're like, "No, do your job." And he's doing whatever he can to try and play hardball with the UFC, which you can't really do. So I think that they are probably a little annoyed with him, but not to the point where Dana's going to talk publicly about it.
yeah. I think we're all kind of waiting for that when Dana finally like.
It's going to come.
Yeah,
It
because
is 100% going
it
to
come
come.
it comes for everybody at some point. He goes after a star, publicly. So we'll
Unless
see.
you just say yes. Like, if you just say yes, he won't. But if
But
you
if you
ever
but
try to take more than what they are offering,
Mhm. Has there been a star that just says yes?
Ronda,
And Ronda's the one.
they
Yep.
they loved Ronda so much because Ronda just said okay and never once negotiated shit.
And now Ronda post fight in her career is very like, I had concussions, I fought too much, I did way too much media. Now she's saying all the stuff she probably should have been saying during
Yeah.
her run. But
Like, during the time, it was just like, yeah, there's a reason that Dana absolutely loves Ronda.
loved her.
Ronda does an enormous amount of business for them and has never once even questioned what they are putting out
Her
as their
worth,
offer.
her real worth. Yeah, man.
Outside
You know
of
what?
like, she may be the most underpaid fighter in the history
I,
of the
I was
sport.
I was about to say, I was like, we always say actually Connor is probably the most underpaid fighter. Despite how
It
much
still
he makes,
probably is Connor, but it could be Ronda.
I'm thinking Ronda, because Connor, we get confused because he made so much money outside of the cage, but his actual in
Yeah,
cage
money he
purses,
generated in cage.
yeah, which is two different things. Yeah, and Ronda just didn't have that outside business that Connor had. But okay, thank you much. Do we
Thanks,
have any more?
Fahim.
One more super chat. Keep coming in.
Terrence, DC said he and other person of color champs have gotten over because of the color of their skin. Both of you growing up in the South, where did you first see racism? Dude,
It's a
uh,
low-
who?
I grew up. I grew up in the Mississippi Delta and in Florida. So yes.
I grew up in
Uh,
Savannah, Georgia, which is famously the city in the state of Georgia that Sherman did not burn when he marched to the sea. I grew up in a deeply, deeply racist area. Just like, in every sense of the word, really. I'm trying to think like when I first really recognized racism. Because like I'm a cis white dude. Like, I probably did not learn about racism until far later than I should have. I want to think. Okay, I'll tell you two stories about racism in the South and these are both true. They're both very quick. First one is my best friend through all of elementary school and pre-K was a black kid, and I will not say his name because I don't want people getting weird on the internet. But like, he and I just went to school forever. We were both kind of quiet, nerdy kids. We were best friends forever. And the first time I genuinely think the first time I really understood, like, oh, people are racist and what that means is I was hanging out with some other, not in school, but some other kids, and they said something mean about him because he was black. And like, I was like, why does, and then that's when it all struck. And then here's a story I like to tell because I think it is very uh, revealing about the South in general. Swear to God, every word of this is true. I want to be extremely clear. I went to church every Sunday as a child, and right up through high school. The church I went to was one of the wealthiest in the state of Georgia. I was raised Episcopalian. And again, this is old plantation South money and shit I'm talking about. And every service staff person who worked, every doorman, every kitchen, staff, all the people who worked in service roles for the church were all black people, and all of them wore white tuxedos. And that was my experience that I lived in, like a window back to plantation South. Is terrible, and we're doing better, but like that was in my lifetime and it was bad.
Oh man, this is a bit of too big of a topic for me to come up to talk about right now, honestly. But
I mean, yeah.
I do appreciate the comment, Mr. Terrence. But I'm going to move on from that. Thank you
Terrence,
much.
the old plantation South is, I mean, I don't really live that world anymore, so I would hope that it's less there, but like I was in high school not terribly long ago, and there were several schools who did their proms on actual plantations.
I will just say this story. In 2020, I think late 2020 or maybe 2021, when there were lots of Black Lives Matters protests in the LA area or Southern California, and there were a bunch of groups of what's that, Proud Boys, and they were all in Huntington and stuff. And I remember I was like, I gotta step up my mixed martial arts training because I am going to get in a brawl with these dudes. So yeah, I was ready for it. I'm not lying. That motivated me in the gym. I'm like, all right, I have to. Like, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad. So
Nah,
that's my
Proud Boys
most
are
recent
pussies.
one. Yeah. But geez, Terrence, we're talking about cage fights. Come on, let's get back on topic. All right. Thank you much. Uh,
The loose joints. What's the most obscure UFC memorabilia you guys have? I don't have that much obscure stuff. This was, I mean, 15, maybe even 20 years ago. Casey's gone to get something, which is great. I at a flea market, I saw somebody selling old UFC VHSs. And so I have like UFC 5, 7, 12, like the VHS copies of a couple of early UFCs because he was selling them for 50 cents at a flea market. I was like, of course I'm going to buy these. Why not?
these are mine. Hold on.
Wow.
Look at these. These are the old gloves. So like, not
So
the
you can eye poke
yeah
in
yeah these are
those bad boys.
no right there no eye poke. I love these. I don't. I'm pretty sure UFC. This is some like third party company. Back when the UFC used to kind of license their name out to a lot of people, but I got hooked up with these. So, and I do have actually even more obscure than that. I have about 20 UFC USB thumb drives that hold about maybe like 5 gigs a piece or
I would
something
say
like
that
that.
can't be any amount
Yeah,
of storage in
yeah,
modern
yeah.
times.
So yeah, but thank you. Yeah, you got a chance to show these. These are great.
I mean, those are
Yeah,
terrific.
yeah, mm, yeah. All right. Thank you much. All
Thanks
right,
to whoever that was.
loose
The loose
joints.
joints.
All right, all right. Who we got? We got.
Colby's shtick is more painful and sad than witty. Yeah, that's it. When it first
It's
happened, I was very pro. Like I was like, I think it is smart to associate yourself with an ideology, basically. Like being the first fighter to outwardly endorse Donald Trump and sort of that group, I thought was really smart. And I think that long term, broadly speaking, that has worked. He is not a clever individual. Like Chael is clever. Chael also had writers, but Chael is like a clever person that you can just get the sense hanging out with him, like, oh, he could crack jokes and be funny and jovial at like a dinner party. And Colby isn't. Like, some people just aren't that way, and Colby isn't that way. And so, because there is none of the wit or charm beneath it, at worst it comes off as just like
Just
vitriol
mean.
in a
Yeah.
really, really mean, in a
Just
way that's not good. And at best it's just like shallow and not it doesn't work. So that over time that just becomes less and less effective.
yeah, like even the Colby's media day stuff. Like if like 5, 6 years ago he would have said those things, it would be like, oh my god, I can't believe he said those things, you know. But now we're like, all right, same
Yeah.
song and dance. Here we do it. We're doing it again.
It
So
is,
it
it
was
is
just
just like the exact, oh, like I'm not clever enough to make things happen, but I can just say the buzzwords and try and get reactions at like the basis level. And I think that Colby is obviously portraying a character, and if you remove that, I'm sure Colby is a perfectly fine human being to interact with. Most accounts are that he is a nice, genial person to be around. But like, very clearly, Colby Covington has never been cool in his life, and that is very palpable in when he talks.
yep. Thank you, Bo. All right. Let me see what else I got here.
Chase, it's crazy to me how Georgia is like that when Atlanta is the blackest city in the country. Again, the calling card of Savannah, Georgia is that it was the one place Sherman didn't burn to the ground when he marched through the state. And it is as deep south as like pretty much anywhere in the world. At least when I was growing up. It's gotten a little more modern, a little different now, but it was, looking back, it was shocking how like, oh, this is just the way life is. Got it.
Thank you, Chase.
Fahim Dulatsai. I hope I got that right, Fahim. Adult or obsolete children and to hell with them. That might be my Instagram. I don't know. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite quotes of all time. And I feel like it's self-explanatory. Also, it's from the movie Willy Wonka, in case you were wondering.
Oh, that is? I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I think it's a quote from like Oscar Wilde. Let me look that up. I think it is a quote from Oscar Wilde that in the original Willy Wonka he
Oh, okay.
uses. Because like a lot of that is let me Google this. Oh no, that's a Theodore Seuss.
Oh,
Dr. Geisel himself pulled that one out. So it's also just one of my favorite quotes because I think it's incredibly accurate.
no issues there. All right, thank you much. Question from Mushy Pepper.
Genuine question. Has Joaquin Buckley always had a mustache? I've only just now noticed it. I don't know if he's always, but he's had that sort of like thin mustache that he has rocked for at least a little while.
Yeah, I think it works. I think one of the biggest travesties in mixed martial arts is when Stipe shaved his mustache, because that man looked much better with a mustache. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I would
And
have kept him
most
in the
people
rank.
do.
I would have kept him in the rankings based on the mustache.
Of course you would have.
Thank you, Mushy Pepper. Okay.
Let me pull up my ESPN while we're here to make sure I know when things go up. Can Cop turn around and fight Kai Kara France in February? Probably. I mean, maybe not, just because the weight cut is tough, and that's a very quick
Yeah,
turnaround.
essentially it'd be just 1 month. Yeah, and traveling internationally, I would say no.
So
I would
yeah,
say
it's
no.
February 9th, so you're looking at like 7 weeks, I think that is. But like if Cop wants to have a holiday, a Christmas, like it is immediate back in international travel, has to make the weight again. Unlikely.
Yeah, unlikely unless Cop just really wants to live that life and just go
Yeah.
for it. Then, but if he enjoys any happiness, yeah, I'm sure he'll take no matter what happens tonight, a couple weeks out, a couple weeks off at the gym, and that will be too much. That won't be enough time for him for the proper weight cut and travel internationally to do the fight. So
Unless Dana
just
comes to him and says, "Hey, we want to put you
a
in February 8th, and
guaranteed, yeah,
it's a title eliminator between you and KKF,"
yeah.
then maybe that gets him up. But it is a very quick turnaround. Uh, I think it would also depend on the fight. Like if he breaks something, if it goes tough, if it's a
I'm
short
assuming.
night,
I'm assuming it's an easy win.
yeah,
Obviously,
but
a
yeah,
loss or a tough fight, and then it's out of the question.
yeah. If it's a quick win, maybe he does say, "Screw it, Christmas. I'll delay it for a little while. Let's go settle up and uh, fly out to Australia now, and I'll just be there for 6 weeks."
All right. Thank you. Uh, So we just hit that time. Let me see any other
The event
questions.
is up, but we're doing the promos. We're watching Colby Covington wrestle.
Got it. Just got a super chat right now.
Ooh. From Luke Preja. I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry, Luke. The MMA Hour is back in your life with Jed Meshew. When are we finally getting this, fellas? Don't act like we don't realize how much Jed has been hosting these days. Look, I told you I am taking over the MMA Hour. It is yet to happen because the MMA Hour is not back in our lives. But maybe next year, the powers that be are trying to keep us down. They're trying to oppress us, but we will not allow them. Uh, we're just making it through the end of 2024 with a skeleton crew, not the Disney Plus show, which I've never and will never see. But yeah, look, give it some time. Some big things are tentatively in the works for next year. And as I said, I'm obviously taking over the MMA Hour.
Could you do that? Could you see yourself sitting in that chair and like interviewing 10 fighters a week? And
So, because I've actually had this conversation with people, um, yes and no. I couldn't do it for 4 hours. Like that's an insane thing. And also, every fighter, there's a reason I don't really do many fighter interviews. They would all be one and done because I'm still going to be me and ask the questions I want to
yeah,
ask, and most of the fighters will not like it. There's some people that would be cool about it, and but like I'm just not gonna be different. I'll just say the shit I want to say, and that will be absolutely a non-starter for a bunch of people. And I don't blame them. Like they have under no obligation to talk to us. So uh, I don't think that I think I am fundamentally incapable of doing something in the way that Ariel does it.
yeah. You could
I
do
could
it.
do
Just
something entirely different,
yeah,
but not
yeah.
at all.
We do.
I couldn't do Ariel's job at all.
No. Okay. A couple super chats. Get these out.
Steven, uh, y'all see the Dark Side of the Cage episode list. Going to be a good watch. I didn't see any
Ooh.
episode list. I just saw a tweet of that earlier today that they are doing that thing. I have never watched any of the Dark Side of the Rings, though I know what it is. You guys told me about it, and I have since seen they're doing. Uh, it's I'm interested. I will absolutely watch it whenever it comes out because it'll be one of those things where I know all the shit probably, but it will still be cool to watch it and see how well they do, etc. But I think it's a terrific idea.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm gonna mute. Wait. I'm gonna put this on mute real quick so I have to get information.
Mm. This is fact finding with the goat, Esther Lynn.
So sorry, I had to get cleared. Dark Side of the Cage. There's gonna be an episode on Kimbo Slice, and one of the people that was interviewed by Kimbo Slice was the GOAT, Esther Lynn. So expect her to make an appearance in it.
I mean,
And or she might have got edited out. I don't know because she just said nice things and no one wants to hear that.
I'm disappointed that they didn't interview me for this at all because I would I gotta give him great sound bites about Kimbo. He's part of one of the 5 greatest fights in the history of the sport. So
I
a true king.
I love Kimbo Slice and I'm very excited about the episode. It was really cool watching the process, at least how they shot her interview and everything, because I know I've seen the final product. I was like, oh, but how does it look behind the scenes? So I kind of got to see it. So that was pretty neat. So
I love seeing the behind the scenes stuff of all
Yeah,
that.
so
Anytime you do
so
something like that, I'm in.
so we shot that interview about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. So yeah, so it should come out soon. All
Nice.
right.
Yeah, that is going to be a very good project when that comes around. You guys should all pay attention. Do one, Casey. Say if we have super chats, we should do them, and then we should
Yeah,
get to our
we're
picks.
we're
They're
gonna,
about
yeah,
to make
pop it out.
walks.
Yeah.
How much would it take to get on the show? Like one of these shows? Or we'd have to talk to somebody. I mean, there's a price for everything.
Yeah, there's a
So
price.
there's a price for everything, and you know, we could talk to the powers that be and see what that price is, and then I'll have that price if you just direct Venmo me that money, and we'll bring in because F it, what do I care?
And I would take a third of that price through Zeal because I'm the one that brings people in. So come straight to me with a price.
See, boom, Bob's your uncle. There we go. So
And-
if you're seriously interested, we can inquire and see how much you would have to pay, and then we'll since we're the only ones who know, we'll tell you what our price will be, and we'll jack that price up a little bit because you won't know any better, and we'll see. Free market economics right there, baby.
I'm about to get paid. Let's do it. Everyone got
paid.
And our last super chat before we go to predictions. This one's for you, Jed.
Jed, can you place one $10,000 bet tonight? Oh, you can place one 10K bet tonight. What is it? If I was just betting 10K, which I have not done in many years, and which is super stressful, and I highly don't recommend anyone to bet that amount of money unless you have a lot of disposable income. The bet I feel the best about is Navajo Sterling. It was mine. I got him at minus 500. The price has moved in a lot of books. He's much higher. If you're looking for something a little better, let me go to our friends at FanDuel right now and see where lines are for the various actions I have down and see where we're at. Buckley Covington's about the same. Billy Q, Cop Silva. Yeah. I mean, if it's your 10K and it's not my 10K, I would put it on Adrian Yanez. He's at plus money and then be really making. I really think he's going to win, and he's at plus money, but certainly an underdog is not like a guarantee. So I'm going to stick with my answer of Navajo Sterling.
All right.
It's the person I feel the best about.
And that's at minus 500.
Oh, it's a minus 830 on FanDuel right now.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry, 850 now on FanDuel.
That is, yeah. If this is Bellator, we'd be just like, go, oh, it's still Bellator. But
it's a big price for a guy with 6 professional fights, but
what about
he's gonna win.
How you feeling on Alvarez close? What's the line on that?
It's minus 510 for Joel Alvarez, which is too high. And Joel Alvarez is my boy. I love Joel Alvarez. He's my boy. That is a big price on a guy like I think he's good. I think he's going to win, but Drakkar Klose is a very good fighter. He's a very good fighter too. So that is a big number.
All right. And real quick before it's just people just want
Luke again. The locks of Humperdinck and the pipes of Mario. You guys rule. Enjoy the fights, guys. Thank you, Luke. That is very nice of you to say. You rule as well. All of you rule. Casey, we are about to get our first walk, so let's very quickly go through. I have to remember where this main card starts, so give me a second to pull it up. It starts at Navajo Sterling versus Tuco Tokos. Casey, I have Navajo Sterling getting a first round knockout. What say you?
Navajo Sterling, second round knockout. But he would dominate the first round.
Yeah. We move on to Adrian Yanez taking on Daniel Marcos. I have Adrian Yanez with the second round knockout. I think that fight will be very fun, but I think Yanez has just the superior boxing.
Same thing. I'm going Yanez second round knockout too. I still believe in him.
I still believe as well. Vitor Petrino taking on Dustin Jacoby in a light heavyweight contest. Petrino, a big betting favorite in this one as well. And while I think that price is maybe a touch too high, I do think he's going to win. Dustin Jacoby's not a good enough defensive wrestler. Petrino, first round submission is my prediction.
Petrino in a workman-like decision.
To the feature fight of the evening we go. Manel Kopp taking on Bruno Silva, the surging Bruno Silva, 4-0, 4 bonuses in last fights. I've got Cobb second round knockout. In my heart of hearts, I think he probably doesn't actually knock him out, but I'm trying to will a Manel Kopp title shot into existence. So second round TKO for Manel Kopp.
Brilliant prediction. I picked Manel Kopp second round KO. It's just brilliant.
Our co-main event of the evening, Billy Quarantillo taking on the legend Cub Swanson in a featherweight contest. Myself and ChatGPT believes that Billy Quarantillo is going to get this done in a extremely fun fight, winning by decision 29-28 across the board.
Billy Q should win this fight, but I never pick against Cubby. So Mr. Swanson, decision.
We're professionals because Pierre Rodriguez is making a walk. We're going to finish this right on time because our main event predictions, Colby Chaos Covington making his return against the 5-0, I think, right now at welterweight, Joaquin Buckley. And Casey, in our main event, I believe Joaquin Buckley is going to get the finish, a KO, TKO, round 3. Maybe Covington has success in the first round. I think Buckley's going to keep this thing on the feet. He's more explosive, more powerful, and I straight up just think Colby Covington is pretty close to washed. I think he looked real bad in his last 2 fights, and he's not getting any younger.
I was going to say Buckley first round KO, but this fight's at sea level, so we're getting the best Colby Covington. We're not getting elevation sickness Colby Covington.
No hap.
Joaquin Buckley, like you said, third round knockout.
Wow, we're very, very similar.
Yeah.
Look at us, so closely contested. And that's it because Pierre Rodriguez is in the whatever the branded waiting area is, check-in area. And we are 5 minutes at most from the first punches being thrown. 13 fights coming at you. And then when it's all said and done, we'll have some winners, we'll have some losers. We'll have a post show right here on this YouTube channel. Mike Heck is in Tampa. He is in Amalie Arena right now, bringing you all the important coverage of the event from on site. So keep it locked in MMAfighting.com for all of your needs. And we will see you right after the event here on the YouTube. Love y'all.
Bye.